Okay, yesterday we talked about special triangles, didn't we? And we took a pre-K shape, a triangle, and we looked deeper into it. We looked at what are the two things we looked at about a triangle? The angles and the sides. Okay, and we looked at the length of the sides. All of those triangles had 3 sides, 3 vertices. But they had up to 6 different names, didn't they? Okay, so today we're going to do the same thing with quadrilaterals. Okay, what's a quadrilateral? What is one? What's it have, Gus?
It's like a square, but it has 4 sides and 4 vertices.
4 sides, 4 vertices. I love that. Let's write that. 4 sides. All of these are going to have 4 sides and 4 vertices. Okay, now we're going to take this pre-K 4-sided polygon and we're going to take it to the next level. We're going to look at its side lengths and its angles again, just like we did with our triangles, okay? Okay, so I'm going to start with the most basic. There's actually 5, how many? 5 different names for a 4-sided polygon or a quadrilateral. Okay, there's up to 5. It could be one of those names. Okay, so the first one we're going to look at is your basic pre-K shape. When you learn about a 4-sided polygon, you normally learn about one that has 4 equal sides. I'm going to try my best to make 4 equal sides. Okay, what's my little shortcut for showing you that this has 4 equal sides? I don't have to write 4 equal sides. What can I do? The little tick marks. Good. I can put 1 tick mark on each of these to show you all 4 sides are equal. Okay? We did those with our triangles yesterday. So any shape that has 4 equal sides, okay, 4 equal sides, 4 equal length sides, and look at its angles. What do you notice about these angles?
2 right angles.
How many?
4.
4 right angles. I can mark them. 4 equal sides, 4 right angles is called what's this called? A square. Okay, this one is just our basic square. Now, if I show Reese, my pre-K daughter, that this shape right here, she's going to say, yes, that's a square. But she's not going to know it has 4 right angles, is she? That's not something they teach them. In 4th grade, you have to look at the side lengths and the interior angles, the inside angles right here. So 4 equal sides, 4 right angles. Guys, I don't even really need to write this because I marked it on my shape. You see that? Those right angle marks and our side lengths. Okay, so anything that has 4 equal sides and 4 right angles is called a square. Look at the purple bar on the top of page 310 and 311. You see that? Look all the way over on page 311, and you have what we just drew, a square. Read that with me. Read that definition. A square has 4 right angles and all sides are the same length. Okay, now we don't know any of the rest of that yet. So is that what we said pretty much? 4 right angles, 4 equal sides. Okay, let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next one. I'm going to go to the next most common quadrilateral. What's the next one you learn in probably pre-K or kinder? A rectangle. Okay, so I'm going to draw a rectangle. What do I know about a rectangle from pre-K and kindergarten? They're not all of the sides are equal. What do I know about the sides though? 2 sides are long, 2 sides are short. Okay, so mark that with me. Actually, don't. Sorry. Don't, because actually a rectangle, if you'll look at the definition of it on page 311, has nothing to do with the length of sides. Look at its definition. Listen to the word rectangle. What do you hear in there? Rectangle. You hear that word angle. Okay? To define a rectangle, all you look at are the angles. That's it. Look at the angles. What are all of these angles? They're all 4 right angles. And for something to be a rectangle, all it has to have, it doesn't have to have 2 long sides and 2 short sides. All it has to have are 4 right angles. So let's look at this shape right here. Let's look at this one. Is this shape have 4 right angles? It does, doesn't it? So could it also be called a rectangle? It sure could. Let's put over here on the side, I want to write also this is a rectangle because it has 4 right angles. Okay, it has 4 right angles. It's also a rectangle. Okay, so I'm going to write rectangle, and I'm going to underline the part of this word that helps me remember. A rectangle depends on those angles. Okay. Are we ready? Okay, the next one is going to be a rectangle that's been pushed over. Okay, it's been pushed over. Okay. Okay, this polygon is called a parallelogram. What word do you hear in there that you have heard before? Parallelogram. Oops. Okay, look at that word parallel. Show me with your arms what parallel looks like. Okay, this shape has the hint inside it also, just like rectangle. This says parallelogram. What do you think makes this a parallelogram? It has 2 sets of parallel lines. There's one set, and here's the other set. Ooh, Maddie says, look at your square, Miss G. Could that be a parallelogram? Yes. Does it have 2 sets of parallel lines? It sure does, doesn't it? So this can also be called a parallelogram. Well, look at that square. It has 3 names so far. Look at your rectangle. Andrea says, hey, wait, this one has how many sets of parallel lines? 2. Look at these. Here's 1 set. Here's 2 sets. Could that also be called a parallelogram? So I better put it over here. This rectangle can also be called a parallelogram. Okay, I want to write my definition for parallelogram, which means 2 sets of parallel lines. That word, parallelogram, really gives you a big hint, doesn't it? It has that name inside it. Okay, let's look at the next type of quadrilateral. Okay, if you look on page 310, they have where it says other examples. Okay, and there are 2 more types. Okay, I want to draw a square that has been rocked over on its side, kind of been pushed over. It's like a parallelogram, but it's just a square that has been pushed over instead of a rectangle. Okay? So what do you think's the same about this one? Since it's not a rectangle that's been pushed over, it's a square that's been pushed over. Okay, this could be a parallelogram. Gus goes, hey, it has 2 sets of parallel lines, doesn't it? So I'm going to go over here already and just put, it could be a parallelogram, you're right, but it has a special name called a rhombus. Why is this different than a parallelogram? What's different about this one? It's smaller. It is smaller. They don't have any right angles, so it's not a square, is it? The sides are all what? Equal. How do I mark that? Okay, little tick marks. It has 4 equal sides. Look in your book at the definition of a rhombus. It says it is a quadrilateral that has opposite sides that are parallel and all of its sides are the same length. Okay, so I have 4 equal sides and let's put 2 sets of parallels. Oh man. What else is a rhombus? What else is a rhombus? What else has 4 equal sides and 2 sets of parallels? Ooh, a square does, doesn't it? Does a square have 2 sets of parallels? Does it have 4 equal sides? So how many names does a square have? 4 so far, right? We could call it a square. We could call it a rectangle because it has 4 right angles. We could call it a parallelogram because it has 2 sets of parallels. And I could call it a rhombus because it has 4 equal sides and 2 sets of parallels. Man, a square has a lot of names. Okay, so add to your square, add rhombus. Add rhombus to your square. Go above it. Okay, let's look at our last quadrilateral. This one reminds me so much of a circus little stand that the elephants stand on. Have you ever seen those? Or a lamp. I kind of think of a lampshade when I look at this shape. But why I like the circus thing more is because look at the word, look at the name of this shape. It's on page 310. It's a trapezoid. What else is in this circus that kind of sounds like trapezoid? A trapeze. Have you ever seen the trapeze? Those girls that swing on those bars way up high. That's the trapeze. Okay? So I think of trapeze and trapezoid kind of because that's the little stand that an elephant stands on and puts his front hoof on. Have you seen him do that or seen pictures of it? Okay, so this is a trapezoid. Now, I want to talk to you about what makes a trapezoid because you know those test makers, they're not going to make it easy, are they? They're going to make this trapezoid look funny. So what is it? Look at your definition. What is it that makes a trapezoid a trapezoid? Only one pair of parallel lines. Okay, so let me find them. Here they are. Here's one set of parallel lines. Is it okay that this one's shorter? Okay, remember a line goes on in both directions, so it's okay as long as they're the same distance apart. Only one set of parallels. Okay, I want to draw something else with only one set of parallel lines. Does that only have one set of parallel lines? Yup. So could that be called a trapezoid also? Yes. Okay. What about an octagon? Why would that not be a trapezoid? Because all of these have how many sides? 4. And how many vertices? 4. Okay. Good question though. Okay. So this one only has one set of parallels, so that could be a trapezoid also. Okay, let's look at our other shapes. What about a square, does it have one set of parallel lines? No. We can't call it a trapezoid then, can we? What about a rectangle? Does it have one set of parallels? No. Nope, can't call it a trapezoid. What about a parallelogram? No. Nope, it only has two, doesn't it? What about a rhombus? No, it has two sets of parallels. So the only thing that can be called a trapezoid is a trapezoid. That's kind of the easy one. That's the only name. Okay? Okay, let's look at our homework. You were going to do 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, not very many problems. But look at the directions. It says in 8 through 15, write all the names you can use for each quadrilateral. So some of these are going to have more than one name, aren't they? Okay, look at the first one there. I'm going to go through my notes and I'm going to say, okay, square. What makes a square a square? Look at your notes and tell me. 4 equal sides, 4 right angles. Does that have 4 equal sides, 4 right angles? Nope, not a square. Okay, look at number 8. Look at the next shape on your notes. Rectangle. 4 right angles. Does it have 4 right angles? No, not a rectangle. Look at the next shape on your notes. Parallelogram. 2 sets of parallel sides. Does it have that? Yes. Ding, ding, ding. There's one name. Okay. What about the next one? Rhombus. Does it have 4 equal sides? Does that shape on number 8 have 4 equal sides? No, not a rhombus then. What about a trapezoid? Only one set of parallel lines. What name do all of these shapes have? Starts with a Q. Quadrilateral. So this shape actually has 2 names. I could call it a quadrilateral and I could call it a parallelogram. Okay? You need to put quadrilateral on everything that has 4 sides and 4 vertices because that's another name for it. Okay? So 8 through 15 is your homework. All right, good luck.